acceptance of the ASCSB accreditation. It's the accreditation of business school programs worldwide, and it's the club of 5% of the business school that have this accreditation. So I'm really proud to be able to tell you all of this about my school. I've been teaching there since 2005. Today I prepared something that is very exciting project for me, because I started thinking about this several years ago, and I've been talking about some shifting paradigms in terms of leadership and mental programming, and today I'm going to continue on this train of thought and tell you a little bit about social economy. Of course, all of us who have been living in this area, we are very well aware how this actually functions. But just like my colleagues Larissa and Josef have mentioned, there are some touching points that are similar. For instance, Josef was talking about the unemployment and really low job creation. Social economy could be one potential way to solve that. I will tell you a case of the biggest social economy enterprise from Spain, how they are creating jobs in Spain at the same time as they are creating jobs abroad. Also, Larissa was talking about the importance of this initial idea of people that are involved in social projects. And today I will tell you about the concept of social economy based on relationships between people. So it's a little bit different than the mainstream economics way of thinking, but that's just how I like to think about these things. We all know how the world today looks like. Everyone talks about the recession, the crisis for people in terms of establishing a normal life where they work and earn money and be able to just enjoy. Many people around the globe are suffering from poverty, and there are other problems such as a big gap, widening gap between rich and poor. Some of them are very rich and some of them are very poor. So this is needless to talk about because we are bombarded through media with all this information. So my aspect here is to talk about something else. My aspect here is what is missing when we hear all these news and all these facts around the globe and in our local community even. What is missing? The missing part is the human aspect. This is why I chose to talk about social economy. It's the more human side of doing economics. In mainstream economics, for many, many years, there is this prevailing model of rational men, homo economicus. And I will tell you about this homo economicus. It's long time dead. It's not possible. Rational decision theory is based on the assumption that we humans are always in this position of very precise, accurate information, and that we always choose based upon the decision that will least hurt me and bring me most benefits. And of course, in life, that's not really the case. Many times we base our decision on other behavioral and cognitive aspects that are not mentioned in mainstream economics. So the social economy really has a lot to do with this paradigm shift, the way of thinking that we have to base the economic behavior on more real human behavior. We are not rational beings walking around like robots, having perfect information and bringing perfect decisions. We're actually talking about the contribution of economic sphere to social life, to building a more just society, to helping communities, and for the economic development based on local communities. The first idea of social economy is very old. It's from 14th and 15th century. And so-called civic humanism movement in Italy. It's interesting that the first chair at the University of Naples at the second half of 18th century was Antonio Genovese. That was the first chair in economy in Europe ever established, was actually a civil economist. He's the great proponent and interpreter of this concept. The first modern models of social economy corporations or enterprises started to emerge 150 years ago in England, but a long time ago, throughout the human history, there is cooperation that is always present. Just to give you a little picture how that works in other places, in Germany, over half of renewable energy is owned by the citizens. In Japan, 1/6 of the population belongs to consumer cooperatives. 30% of Americans belong to corporately owned credit unions. Many of American companies that I personally also used, brands, are also cooperatives, and I wasn't aware of this fact, so I assume that many people are not also aware of this fact. The reported experience, the research of social economy enterprises and projects from different places such as Australia, Arizona, Canada, reflect good things like contributing to socially inclusive wealth creation, driving up productivity and competitiveness, enabling individuals and communities to work towards regenerating their local neighborhoods, showing new ways to deliver public services, developing an inclusive society, and active citizenship. Basically, social economic organizations function in such ways that they combine social and economic objectives, and these objectives are formed by people who work for the company. So in creating these objectives, they're thinking not only about themselves but also others, the community. And the whole idea is basically founded on mutuality and altruism. And so I would like to conclude with the remarks that this human aspect in economic behavior is really missing link, and probably we ended up where we are because we are not thinking about this human aspect. It is fine to be rich and in solitude, but it's very hard to be happy and alone, right? Okay, so I would like to finish with these words. Thank you very much for your attention.
After the two compelling social and alternative economy insights, I go back to the mainstream economics, but I still look at how humans and people can contribute really to the success of economies. Competitiveness, actually, it's a very widely researched and used concept these days. And even in the title of this conference where we are attending now, it is Engineering Management and Competitiveness Symposium. So I thought I bring a sort of question which I researched a little bit from secondary data, how human capital could contribute to the competitiveness of national economies. And reading some of the most famous competitiveness reports from places like the World Economic Forum or elsewhere, what I find is that they have very detailed measures to create the index for competitiveness, but the human factors are not really there, at least just very indirectly reflected. So what I try to find is how we can make this link a little bit more direct and find out that through developing human capital can we improve competitiveness. So that's what I've done a little bit of a study. So I don't want to spend too much time on definitions because we can read those in the studies, but basically there are two approaches of defining competitiveness. One is more coming from like the end result of it is a productivity and then we are competitive. The other one goes a step further where it looks like, where it sees competitiveness as a welfare of a nation, and that's really the goal we are working for and we are competing for as nations. I try to prioritize them and summarize in how I would think to approach in terms of priorities. Here you can see how many steps away we have the next higher level in the staircase function. And obviously where it is very close, like 1, 2, 1, or 1 here, that's an easy distance to move, so that could be a priority. But I also looked at that how much getting to the next level, how much it would mean in terms of the GCI improvement, competitiveness improvement. So I ranked those first in terms of importance, where they have much bigger sensitivity to the competitiveness index. And compulsory education, talent, environment are the two variables which are relatively easy to change, and we are not far from the next level up. So that's probably an area of priority. Demographics is a very important one, but it's not something I snap my finger and change. It takes a long term, and it needs to be looked at because it's an important factor, but obviously it's not something we can change competitiveness overnight with. And proclivity to attracting talent and university education are two places where we are having the next level down very close, although the next level up is far away. So instead of trying to reach the next level up, we need to make sure that we protect and not lose from our position. We need to strengthen our position. But in terms of, and especially for university education, we see a lot of restrictions and different policies coming out, which worries me in terms of protecting our current position, but we'll see how things are going. So, and openness is an indicator which we don't need to do anything about. We are an open economy, whatever we do, so we don't have much improvement opportunity there. And another thought I just wanted to show you, that the original global competitiveness score for Hungary is 4.3. Out of the 144 countries, this takes us to the 60th place. Within the EU, we are in the 20th place, and the 7 Central European countries, we are in the 4th place. And I just took this order of improvement